The good old Rushby. No, nope, maybe not. Maybe not. Going to be playing around mid right now. Red Snake actually getting quite a lot of damage there off the P250 snipes, but not going to be able to finish it off completely. And you need to get those first kills if they want to try and somehow make this round into something.
Well, you can see a bit of team damage also done onto Crucial from Red Snake, which is never ideal. Quantum, though, is the player that ate the damage, as you said before, from P250. He's down to 16. He's typically the player that you're going to see around jungle. He takes more of a passive role this time, though. Just outside of window, can see the hole in the wall. Sees a couple of players crossing, not able to get either of those frags. And Aaron, with the Glock, takes down Bloat, and then Quantum gets picked off. This is a horrible round for Aftermatch. What a series of headshots from Infused. Leaves us in a 3 versus 2. The bomb's in a pretty sticky situation, and Freddy B with the M4 is going to have the upper hand onto Aaron. Remember, there is no Kevlar on Infused, so aim punch is going to be a very real issue they have to contend with, but it's now down to a 1 versus 1.
It is indeed, and Freddy, he's the one who's going to have to contend with the difficulty of not knowing where his opponent is, but he's made the correct call. He's going to guess, and he's going to make the move over to B, arriving just as he sees Zed coming around the corner. Be able to actually finish this one off, should be, as he does have that Kevlar advantage, but Zed is playing the corner and has gonna be peeking out in the end. Will go down though, but what a difference armor makes there. I do believe Zed actually slightly got the drop on Freddy, but the armor will out. An expensive round for Aftermatch, but they did at least keep control.
Yeah, therein is the issue in not having armor, as you said. Not only because he can absorb more damage on the side of Freddy, but also as soon as he hits the first shot, the aim punch comes in. It's very difficult to contest with that. All things considered, though, yes, Aftermatch wins the round, but that was a phenomenal round for Infused. That was pretty much a full eco, as we highlighted. Just a couple of P250s to take full weapons away from Aftermatch puts them already in a position where if they lose this round, they'll be onto an eco of 4 spy. So that's the importance of taking down 4 frags. Yes, they're 3-0 up, but this could quickly shift back in Infused's favour.
However, that is not the way to start things off. The armorless Crucial moving in with his AWP is drop it without even firing a shot, so not a good start there for Infused. Failing to really find any purchase, not to be able to get any easy picks, and they're actually going to be donating that AWP essentially. Zed also stymied as he tries to make a move from Palace. Just looks like Infused are failing to gain any traction here.
Always super hard when you lose those first 2 players. And you can see they've got 2 smokes. It's enough to cordon off maybe jungle and CT boxes, but the issue there is there's just too many players to contend with. You can see that Aftermatch are playing this one smart. They're not moving in, they're not going aggressive in a 3 versus 5. They realise the crossfire should be theirs in the bag. Here come the Molotovs, 35 seconds to play with. Terrace pushing through. They're going to eat some damage, but trying to catch the CTs off guard. That flashbang wrecks both Aaron and Neil, neither of whom were able to get in. And the frags are just coming back and forth, and this round is going to go very convincingly to Aftermatch. The question now is, can they take more than one player down? The answer is a resounding no. Aftermatch have stabilised the economy once more.
Yeah, that's the crucial thing right now on CT side. Definitely want to build up the money advantage. And the worst thing that can happen in a game that's coming really close is to just start trading like round for round, like 1 for 1 all the time, and never quite build up any money as the CTs, because your margin for error, because you need so much money in order to get a full buy up, gets very, very slim. If you can build up a bit of money, you've got that cushion, and then you force the terrorists to play with scouts and Tech 9s. Nothing coming of Zed there. But actually, Doppler took a lot of damage there from, I believe that was a bit of spray. However, it's going to be the push onto the B side that's the real decider of this round. And unfortunately, it's not gone so well for Infused so far. Aaron did manage to get that AWP in his hands, but he can't get a kill from it. Actually, looks like Zed is going to peace out and go somewhere else with the bomb. Crucial just playing distraction. All he needs to do, though, several players have been lost from Aftermatch now.
Indeed, Freddy B and Quantum, the last 2 remaining players, a good spread for Infused, and originally, as he called, Zed was thinking about snaking his way through onto the A side, then second-guessed himself, but the fact that Crucial just got picked off on B side is going to make him guess twice once more. So really now it comes down to the mind games. There's still plenty of time, 40 seconds, and the CTs pretty much have to spread themselves up here to have full control over the map, but in doing so, both sides relatively weak. If the 2 terrorists chant together and push as one united force, They should be able to overrun this site. Quantum is surely not long for this wall, but Freddy B's sixth sense was just tingling. He's like, okay, I can sense danger on my teammate. He goes and looks behind him and gets the frag, and that takes Zed into a 1 versus 2. There's only about 13 seconds left. He may be able to get this bomb planted, but is he get fragged afterwards is the question. Quantum not able to get into a good enough position. The scout shot lands, but with armor, it's not an insta-kill. And Aftermatch will pick up yet another round.
Yeah, if that had been the AWP there, it could have actually turned into a clutch, but wasn't going to happen. Actually, I was amused kind of because as you were talking about the sixth sense there, Quantum actually sort of had the inverse in sixth sense and looked away at the very worst possible second, but it's okay, it's fine, you get the retake, it's all good. 5-0 is the scoreline now. Infused are going to be on the full buy-up now. Really, absolutely everything they could want, short of upgrading their pistols. See if Crucial can have a bit more luck with that AWP this time. One for his part is going to be firing away. Jesus, several AWPs from Aftermatch just hanging around mid, playing for that mid control, but instead they go second best, and Crucial gets the first kill. Setting up a potential bit of positioning play here from Infused, but is it going to be easy for them to do anything with that control over mid?
Well, they still have the utility to make something work. The equipment is looking good. 5 Molotovs still in play. So there's plenty of areas they could look to try and exploit. Zed's a pretty key member here, and he's been dropped. So that alleviates a lot of the pressure now onto A. Aftermatch may realise this one. As soon as Martin sees these players coming in, expect to see an over-rotation from Aftermatch again, though. The issue is that with Infused going aggressive, there's a lot of time that Aftermatch have to kill towards the end of this round, and Disco hasn't able to land that first shot. Did see a couple more plays. Lands on the second time of asking. 3-on-3. Another bomb is going to go down for the third time here on the T side for Infused. They've landed the next frag, and Aftermatch maybe thinking about just piecing out of this. A little flashbang in terms of grenades. Both players have defused kits, but Freddy is low. And even though they could probably afford to buy up next round, the economy would not be fantastic. So the save here for me is the correct play, and that means that Aftermatch will be conceding their first round.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to maybe hang around for a potential exit frag here. Freddy waiting on stairs is not going to be finding anything there, as Infused are hanging around at the top of mid. Nobody nowhere to go for any kills, so simple in the end victory for Infused. Now, Aftermatch's economy, as you say, is with those 2 saves. Any less and it wouldn't have been enough, but I think they should be able to get everything they could realistically want here.
Maybe a little bit.
Ooh.
Skimping on grenades. No,
yeah, not
they
exactly
go for
skimped.
the FAMAS.
They got something.
Yeah. The thing is, if they don't go for the FAMAS there on Martin, he's effectively going to have no nades. So that was required. Problem with the FAMAS is against the AK, always comes out second best. And you can see Freddy and Disco already don't have too many grenades. That first frag is crucial. And I can understand why he goes for that peak, because his team's a little bit vulnerable with this lack of grenades, but in doing so, that's a massive first pick. Disco has answered back though. And again, that pressure has been applied to the wound for Aftermatch, but still plenty time to play with. Red Snake sees that grenade coming through, and judging from the trajectory, he knew that someone was in apps as well. So, key frag for him. Disco misses his second potential frag. He's going to get another crack at this one, I think. He spots Red Snake. Beautiful shot, 3-on-3.
Yeah, nice one there, but this may not be the best time for Infused to be going for this B push. They've put all 3 members in apartments, and there's several here from Aftermatch to actually catch them out, but Neil is not looking there and is not covered either by his team. However, Disco is gonna not quite trade back there. Very, very close. Did manage to, I think, tag him through the wall, but he's not gonna be able to finish the deal. And now it's gonna be coming down to a very close-up fight. Freddy B did take down Neil. Now it's a 2-on-2 as Zed is gonna try to peek his way around, but goes straight into the AWP scope of Disco Dokeplan, making up for his previous whiffs. And Aaron, I'm upsetting my cat. Aaron is going to be trying now to finish things off as he will get that first kill. So it's just a really dicey situation, but we'll get finished off in the end.
You what, mate?
How often do you see that?
There.
Yeah, I forgot where I put it.
I'm pretty sure you're an evil mastermind. It's like I don't always cast, but when I do, there's a cat on my lap. I just heard that meow.
Yeah, she is actually a very appropriate, like very fluffy tail, kills things very cruelly. Although that, to be fair, that's every cat on Earth.
Except my family cat's way too old. She just like lays there all day.
Can't actually catch up.
He's like 20 or something. Pretty old for a cat. Free from Ass is in play though. And speaking of weakness and vulnerability, that's definitely how Aftermatch are looking and faring right now. I mean, already in this round they have a flashbang. They did have a smoke, but it was thrown out just a few moments prior. No defuse kits. And this is really Infused chance once again. And they'll know this. This is why they've gone for the Force, not only because they could afford to get some AKs. You can see there's a Tech 9 in play as well. They're going to switch across. Neil did have an AK, drops it for his teammate because he's on 7 HP. And you always want to put it in a healthy member's hands instead, which is exactly what Zed is coming into this round. And the rotation through onto the A side. You can see the Aftermatch again. They're pretty undeterred by these mind games. They have a general idea as to what's happening. The issue is that they have enough firepower, I should say, to stop it, because there are 4 Molotovs in the hands of Infused.
Firepower definitely in the favour of Infused there. I'm sorry. But they are going to be making use of those, surely, if they can. I'm not sure, though. Seeing much. One into dark there, but Bloat is not hanging there. He's going to be coming around the corner just as Neil switches weapons, and now they've got this awkward scenario where they can't get rid of him easily. It's going to be a 2-on-2 in the end, but the first kill there from Crucial will be living up to his name. Now Martin coming in, gets himself that kill, and a second off the spray as well to finish down the round, so nicely done. But in the end, Infused did not quite get the cover on the bomb plant.
It's quite cozy there in his little alcove, just chilling. A bit dead.
Yeah, no, man, it's a rough night, man. It's a rough night.
He does look like he's drunk and he just like went to hide, like that instinct, that self-preservation instinct. I've got to say though, Infused, you had 4 Molotovs and they didn't use all of them. What's the point in buying them if you're not going to throw them there? Especially onto an entry on site. Like you can almost use them as makeshift smokes, like onto the same positions. You throw the smoke, get that bomb planted, and you should be good to go. But instead, they left it way too late, and they are going to go for another Force because again they got a lot of frags down. They read the economy of Aftermatch, and it's kind of in that baiting moment where you're like, okay, we know that Aftermatch are weak. Let's keep going for the jugular. The issue is that after a while, if the Aftermatch get to 10 or 11 rounds, that's no longer good enough. Infused then have to convert those subsequent rounds, and they haven't been able to do that so far. Only 1 round. And 4 Tech 9s here. Again, we've got Molotovs and smokes. Look at them, they're just stacking up on ramp, and this is almost tailor-made for the setup that Aftermatch has.
It is, and that's going to be necessary. They do at least have the smokes to cut off several players, but in comes the Mag 7 elsewhere on the map as Infused are going to be rushing around the corner with Deal to try and get some kills. They're not going to get much out of it. They do get the bomb plant, but that's kind of their only real gain, and if you're going to force up, I think you need a little more than that.
Yeah, and it's not even the case that they took enough weapons off Aftermatch to realise they'd be weak again. Like, Aftermatch have now stabilised. And of course, with CTs, it's only a round away from becoming unstabilised again. But in this round, Infused, because of that bomb plant, are able to force together another buy. That being said, it is skimping out on grenades. 4 smokes, including a scout for Crucial. Now, if he takes that towards the likes of mid boxes, it can definitely still be devastating. But again, Aftermatch now have bolstered up their defences significantly. Everybody has full grenades, everyone has a defuse kit, and even though they have a massive play, that's accompanied by 4 very strong assault rifles.
Of course, to get to mid boxes, you do have to put that smoke down. Nicely planned out by Infused. One of the few occasions where it's genuinely nicer to have the scout when you're trying to jump shot there. But a moment doesn't look like Crucial's going to find anything from that. Spray back and forth. Not really finding any kills so far, but Infused, they look like they might be a little bit inclined towards the A side. We do have Aaron just looking for that pick through connector if he could find it, and he's very, very close to doing so, but bullets work both ways, and it looks like they're going to be backing off instead. However, a Molotov there did a little bit of an odd fizzle out. Not quite sure what happened there, but this is going to be Aftermatch now trying to defend on the B site. They are, in fact, going to be doing that pretty well, though. Martin gets down Aaron. Zed elsewhere, though, is going to be on the A side. Okay, he was lurking, I guess, but quite a long way off from the rest of your team. They are, however, getting quite a lot of kills. They're running out of time.
These strats, man, I'm not sure if they're blowing my mind in a good or a bad way. Like, Infused were completely split up there, and yes, they're going to get the bomb plant, but you look at their HP, you look at the fact they've only got one Molotov, it's not looking too good for them. They have taken pretty decent post-plant scenario positions here with the HP that they have, almost like a mini crossfire will be coming down. That Molotov likely will bank off the boxes and land on top of the site. But Neil's been picked off. They're going to have a pretty good idea where the last player is. No, they don't watch each other's backs. There's a frag. And Disco has to wait for that Molotov. Yeah, he's got the defuse kit, so he's going to be A-okay. There we go. Goes back in again. And he is good to go. Aftermatch will get their 9th round. However, again, they do lose 4 players.
Expensive, yeah, but at this point, Aftermatch, he's almost not going to be as concerned even if Infused does manage to break that economy at this point. Aftermatch has already had a decent half, and you can expect them to pick up at least 2 or 3 more rounds in this half, even if they do start to, drop that one round, drop their economy down very low. Even if they had to eco twice in a row, still gives them very good odds of picking up those other rounds. We do have a pause coming through, which is going to be a disconnect, I do believe, there for Infused. But yeah, not really sure what Infused needs to be doing. For my part, as my ignorant scrub plebeian brain is telling me, but the biggest impact I've seen from any individual player in Infused seems to have been Crucial's AWP. So I wonder whether they've almost gotten a little too tempted to keep forcing up, and they haven't actually been able to save for that AWP very often.
Yeah, they've been like classic bait of, we know the CTs are weak, we have to force to try and counteract and break their economy, but sometimes that ends up hurting the Ts more so than the CTs. And this is kind of one of those situations. It hasn't been for a lack of plants either, by the way. There have been 5-6 bomb plants in 10 rounds for Infused. They've only picked up 1 round. That is a worrying statistic for them, that in these post-plant scenarios, they're crumbling. And typically that's off the back of them getting the plant down, but only doing so with a player or 2 alive. So in that case, you can't really fault them. But they consistently get mid control. Like every single round, Infused are in mid. They're up short. They're looking to peek through connector. And Aftermatch are giving up mid. And typically I'd say that's not a great idea, because mid is a hugely important, a vastly important aspect of this map. But Aftermatch have such good deep defenses that it's very difficult for Infused to crack them. So what I'd say for Infused is go for boosts more in window. They've done it once or twice in eco rounds, but they've never done it in AK rounds. And I feel if they go for boosts, if they try and take control of ladder room and catch Aftermatch as they rotate, they'll have much better chances of actually winning some rounds here. And they could still pull this back to a pretty respectable halftime score. 5 or 6 rounds will be good enough for the Ts.
Got to start now, though. Well, now. Next round, whenever that may start. But I definitely do agree with you. As well, it's something with deep defenses, as you say, that if they're getting caught from the side, if by a person coming in from window, it's going to be that much more difficult to defend, because your players that are far back can't really look many places. They can't adapt as easily their positioning. Those who are close up will be a little bit tricky for them. Of course, as well, the other thing, I mean, I say that I almost want to say like they need to smoke better, because I've seen it a couple of times, like smokes that just aren't quite blocking off all the players on Aftermatch. And I know that's always tricky because you've kind of got to guess to a degree where exactly everyone is, but if they could manage to do that and get the proper bomb plant down, then that would force Aftermatch to actually be playing the retake rather than just hanging back.
Boy, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, a couple of smokes have missed, especially on jungle. I've noticed a couple missing the stairs, which obviously gives the stairs player a lot of advantages, because if you go into the site expecting that smoke to land and it doesn't, that is almost suicide, because it just gives the CT player free reins to spray down the entire team through ramp and palace. So those smokes need to be on point. But that's kind of one of the reasons as well that I mentioned maybe boosting into window, because it forces the CTs to not all have that very one-dimensional outlook onto palace and ramp. Then they have to be worried about their backside as well. They have to be like, hold on a second, there could be a guy snaking his way through CT spawn. That draws attention away from ramp, that draws attention away from palace and potentially B site, and then you can look to exploit them. It's just like a game of chess. You're constantly trying to put your enemy in positions they don't want to be in, vulnerabilities. And so far, Infused have been very, very much like a one-pronged attack, whether it's A or B. They tried these fakes, which have been very interesting, but they've tried them with like 15 seconds to play with. And that's simply just not giving yourself enough time. And that's another reason why they're getting the bomb plants down. But then because they're leaving it so late, they can't get back into a good position, or they're super, super low on HP because they've had to rush onto the site and couldn't check every corner. They got shot from behind. So these are like small things that I'd like to see Infused definitely improve on, but obviously we have to wait for Crucial to get back before we can do that. There we go. He has just rejoined.
We can stop admiring the Zeus very close up. A fine weapon, I'm sure. I don't think I've ever killed anyone with a Zeus.
Scrub.
So I'm sorry. I'm bad. I suffer from a case called bad at video games. You can't drop Zeuses now, though. How they nerfed that gun so hard? I used to drop my entire team Zeuses, and it was like, yeah, we're good.
Them silver strats, though.
I know, right? It's amazing, especially when they costed $400. But this is going to be restarting now, as Aftermatch are going to be losing nobody so far, getting their first kill instead onto Neil M. Bit of spray through apartments, was looking quite close to catching out Martin, but did not find anything there. Now, Infused doing the one-pronged attack. Almost all their players pushed up into apartments, and they're just getting nowhere. They are getting needled from afar and lose another player there. Red Snake goes down. This kind of thing that you were talking about. It's Infused failing to find any purchase so far.
Just look at their setup, right? Infused is setting up for an aggressive CT defense. They're in angles waiting for the CTs to make mistakes, but Aftermatch have been so patient on their CT side. I mean, very, very passive, very, very slow, of the mindset of come at us bros, you're the T side, you have to plant the bomb, all we have to do is stop you from doing that and we win. And of course, that's basically what it is. Like, Infused have to go for the aggression, but at the moment, because they're getting picked off here and there, they have to then instantly slow it down, so we're not seeing any of this control being taken in the likes of Window. Like, they're not getting anywhere with it.
I'm sorry, it was this PG stream? Sorry, Quantum? I'm not sure. Not something I wanted to see about the counter-terrorists. I'm sure, lovely thing concealed beneath the trousers. Yeah, lovely. I wonder if they might have actually modelled it. I don't know. I've never looked, oddly enough.
Oh, you check out all those packages.
Okay, let's just, shall we not? This is not a place conversation needed to go.
You brought it up.
It's true, but I regret it deeply. Can a man not have his mistakes? Speaking of mistakes, actually, well, to be fair, Eco round, they got one kill so far. Maybe a second to follow. Infused, rushing through apartments, not had the best of luck. Did actually manage, however, to get that M4 and the kill thereof. The Disco is going to be finishing that off, but it's a pretty decent round, I guess you can say, for Infused.
Well, yeah, pretty much a shutout. That was a force buy from Infused. They have full round loss coming in, though, so it's an easy rebuy, including 2 AWPs. I can definitely respect this. I mean, typically I wouldn't be advocating 2 AWPs on T side of Mirage, but clearly they're thinking, okay, desperate times call for desperate measures. We haven't been able to get any success with full AK rounds. Let's try something new. I'm always behind that. I don't think it's particularly going to be successful. What a shot from Quantum, though. Through the smoke. He did see the Tracer come through just beforehand, so just game sense, really. Disco's going to get pushed. He's going to trade out onto Aaron. Quite a bit of damage. But again, the first 2 frags go the way of Aftermatch, and that just completes it just puts a complete halter on the T aggression. Like, now they just have to hope for scraps.
Yeah, it's going to be maybe some ridiculous picks if they can manage to scrape them together, but as you say, it's not that likely to happen, and that leaves Red Snake now as the only man left alive. Going to be looking with that AWP, and will get himself a kill onto Martin. Let's see if he can find anything else. You never know. 1 man, 1 AWP. Has been known to clutch in the past, but not today.
That sounds like a really shady video. 1 man, 1 AWP.
It's not what I intended, but I can see the comparison with certain other videos that I also are. We're just going through the regrets I have in my life at this point.
Double Tech-9 pickup for Infused. Are they going to be able to add to that very lonely one round? It needs company.
They tried the AWPs. That was my suggestion. That didn't work. So I guess just keep forcing up until you win, maybe. See how that goes. They have managed to actually get themselves onto the A site, and the first pick there did fall, but it's going to be Quantum holding now from jungle, and nobody seems to want to push, and nobody's quite feeling brave enough. Tech-9s or no, they're going to be getting caught and losing elsewhere. A bunch of kills. I mean, Zed is now the only man standing. He's going to take a grenade. And is he going to find a kill? No. Unfortunately for him, he's going to be staring a defeat in the face here as 13-1 is the scoreline.
Did you see that Quantum shot through the wall? That was pretty sexy. I'm not even going to lie. The reaction flick through the wall. Nice.
One man walk. Anyway, yes, 13-1 is the scoreline.
Pretty close game, mate.
Yeah, pretty close. Could have been. I mean, to be honest, I did look at the odds beforehand. I was like, this maybe is a little bit unfair on Aftermatch. Yes.
Yeah, you caught that in midair.
It's alright, guys, I got this. I'll take it with me.
He's just a good guy teammate. He took it for the rest of his teams. They didn't have to take the nade.
Literally Captain America.
When you come into this game, you see Aftermatch with 11 for 2, and Infused 7 for 3, and struggling against a team like, as I said before, they just lost 16-13 before this to EC Visualize, I think they're called, or Viscerate, I can't quite remember their name fully, who are 7-7. I feel like that pretty much sums up Infused chances coming into this. Like, pretty sure that Aftermatch were the favourites coming in, and they've shown incredible domination on CT side. It's a CT sided map, of course, but nowhere near that one sided. Like, you're expecting maybe a 9-6, 10-5 scoreline, not 14-1.
Yeah, it's like, is this Nuke? Even on Nuke, this would have been ridiculous, frankly. But there is the old famous example. It was Nip versus someone where they literally it was one team managed to win the pistol round and the subsequent rounds, and then there were no other wins for the T side.
I think it was against Dignitas.
Yeah.
Now TSM.
Oh boy.
Well,
But
partially TSM now.
thank God Nuke isn't in the pool anymore. Yeah, well, let's see if they can start the miracle comeback. You never know. Infused are going to be getting the first kill there for themselves, dropping one in return very quickly, but Crucial is going to be doing what he can to pull his team up by the bootstraps as he gets 2 kills there from a good long distance, leaving Freddy all alone with his flashbang. And going to be pushing out, unable to get even 1 kill, unfortunately, there for him. But Infused, well, let's see. If they win 10 rounds in a row, then I'll start saying, I'll start making murmuring approval noises. But even then, I won't be convinced it's a comeback.
Well, if they make one mistake from here on out, they've lost, really. That's the situation they're in. They're almost playing for pride at this point. You can just take it one round at a time. Don't look at the 14-2 scoreline. Just see this as, okay, we're on CT side. Let's win every single round. Let's just put our focus on the next round and this one and no further. Now, this one should be theirs. There is a force in from Aftermatch, which is going to include a Deagle, a few P250s, and a Tech-9. Speaking of P250, Quantum is going to bag himself that first kill, which is pretty crucial. And you can see the difference here. The CTs come off B and just give up the site for Aftermatch. This is a massive error in judgment. I don't know if that was a call they were pushing A or what, but that's going to cost them this round.
Yep.
What was that call?
I don't know what, like, was there a fake? I didn't actually catch it to see what it was that triggered it, because you don't just all march off the sites just for no reason at all. Even if it was a poor judgment, you've got to have something that makes you do that, right?
They had a player who was in kitchen, and they had one who was on short with a P90 that dropped out. And the first frag came in, and they instantly all rotated to A. So I don't know if that was just a really poor call, or what came up there. If it's like, they're rushing A, but no, you could see on the minimap, no one was even close to A. They were all in B apps at the time, rushing on out. Yeah. So Infused, I mean, this has been a rough game to say the least.
Yeah, this is a pretty serious train wreck on their part, I'm afraid to say. It is nice to try and sort of hype it up, I guess, but yeah. I mean, there have been worse losses. Let's say that, but that is small consolation, I'm sure, for Infused and anyone who's a fan of them, because right now they are getting picked apart, and it seems they've already given up, of course. Somehow not believing in CEVO-M's ability to clutch without even enough bullets to kill them all. And that is going to be the end there. 16-2. Absolute domination.
I think it just sums it up that they all left. I think they checked out mentally a long time ago. That previous result, when they had the weapons, they